Hardly anyone in the modern world has not heard of Confucianism and its founder. The teachings of Confucius have become the ideology of China for centuries. Orientalists will tell about the life of the thinker and the phenomenon of his philosophy. Confucius is an ancient thinker, philosopher, the first professional teacher of China, the founder of Confucianism. The years of Confucius' life are about 55 to 479 BC. He is from a noble, albeit impoverished, Kun family. His real name is Kun Qiu, literally hill. In literature, he is often called Kun Tzu, Kung Fu Tzu teacher of the Kung or Tzu teacher. The founder of the Kung Fei-Tzu clan served under the ruler of China Chen Wang. For his valiant service, he granted Wei-Tzu the Song inheritance, and he became the sovereign of the Song kingdom. Confucius' father Shu Lianghe, despite his military successes, was a low-level aristocrat with modest wealth. Shu Lianghe dreamed of an heir. He had 9 girls with his wife, and Bo Ni, who was born from a concubine, was a sickly child. Returning from military campaigns at the age of 63, he married the 17-year-old daughter of a noble Yan family. Confucius was born to them. The boy was born in a cave of a clay hill, which, according to legend, had magical power, hence the name Qiu. A year and a half after the birth of his son, Shu Lianghe died. Kun Qiu's mother Yan Zhengzai went home with her child and provided for the family herself. Confucius worked from early childhood. The mother told her son about the merits of his father and grandparents. In order to be a worthy descendant, Kun Qiu diligently engaged in self-education. He loved to study. The education of aristocrats at that time included mastering 6 arts: rituals, music, archery, chariot driving, reading and writing, counting. Thanks to his education, Confucius received the position of an official in the Ji clan of the Lu kingdom. He was responsible for receiving and distributing grain and livestock. Then he was about 20 to 25 years old. His mother died when Kun Qiu was not even 17 years old. It was a terrible blow for the young man. He was very attached to his mother. At the age of 19, Confucius got married and had a son, Li. In 496 BC, he became the first advisor in the Zi clan of the Lu kingdom. The country was torn apart by civil strife. Officials were distinguished by greed and venality. Confucius was oppressed by the thought that he could not change anything. He resigned and went on a trip to China, teaching students and preaching his ideas to regional rulers. Confucius returned home when he was about 60 years old. Until his death, he studied with his students, systematized a collection of folk songs and poems, Xi Qing and Qing, the Book of Changes. Confucius dreamed of rebuilding China and establishing peace in it. How to do this, he told the rulers and students. The latter spread his teachings around the world, later called Confucianism. Who are the disciples of Confucius? Confucius' favorite disciple was the philosopher and his follower Yang Hu. Of the close disciples, they are called Zhengzhu and Yuzhou. 26 personalities are known by their names. In total, scientists count about 3,000 students of Confucius, the closest, about 70. Confucius did not refuse to study to anyone who came with a bundle of dried meat, tuition fee and a desire to learn the truth. Pavel Popov wrote, "What did Confucius teach? He taught to observe ancient traditions and rituals, to follow the rules of behavior accepted in society, to respect elders and superiors, to treat the younger ones with paternal care. A wise ruler does not punish, but educates like a father, to study ancient books in order to join the wisdom of the ancients." Thinker believed that all people strive for wealth and nobility, are afraid of poverty and contempt. This is human nature, but a person will be able to get rid of negative traits if he follows the Tao established for him. Tao is the absolute, the natural law of nature. To comprehend the Tao means to step on the path of knowledge of the truth. The noble husband Junsu has 5 main qualities: Ren, the human principle; humanity, mercy, and justice; truth, that which opposes selfishness; Li, observance of rites, rituals, for example, honoring parents; Zi, wisdom, prudence, the ability to calculate the consequences of actions; Shen, sincerity, conscientiousness, the opposite of hypocrisy. Ideally, Junsu is the ruler of the kingdom, but this does not mean that every ruler automatically becomes Junsu. This is not a merit of origin, but of personal qualities, the philosopher believed. After the death of Confucius, his disciples wore 3 years of mourning for him, and one of them, Su Gong, spent 6 years in the cemetery where the teacher was buried. Few accepted the philosopher's teaching during his lifetime, but after his death it became the state ideology of China. The first place among the Chinese quatrains Sishu is occupied by Lun Yu, which we call the aphorisms of Confucius. These are the arguments of Confucius himself. his disciples, or their contemporaries. Some of the more famous aphorisms of the thinker from the book Confucius, Judgments and Conversations, you can hear on our channel in the Shorts section. For centuries, it has been mandatory in classical Chinese education to memorize the judgments of Confucius by heart. They teach the highest human virtues. Confucius is one of the most prominent philosophers in Chinese and world history. The truths he taught have passed the test of time. Many points of the doctrine have become a universal ideology.